I think we can just maybe recap yesterday's 108 power flow
Yeah,
that happened just for the purposes of, capturing some of our thoughts and our feelings about
yeah,
the event and what we like about it and how we continue to like evolve and grow this throughout the process, maybe.
yeah. It's like our archive.
Yeah.
Okay. So yesterday, it seemed like you just like started off just hitting it hard. So the first 3 rounds was pretty rough.
Well,
I feel like.
yes, that's true. But to be fair, because it was um, the one to commemorate your birthday weekend, your
Sorry,
request
guys.
was to really make it challenging. Like, it's already, I think, challenging on its own because it's 108 rounds of sun salutations. And each time we've done this, we've done 10 already at this point, right?
Yeah,
Each time we've done it, I've changed it up a little bit. Depending on, I think, who's there, the season. And so, because it was your birthday weekend and two other people that were in attendance that day, I thought it would be neat to allow you guys to have some input, so make it a little bit more interactive, right? So you chose your favorite yoga pose, and Alyssa chose her favorite, and Tracy chose her favorite, and I kind of weaved that into the 108 rounds, right? So each of the rounds was a little bit different. And then the night before, you said you wanted it a little bit more amped up. And so that's why we just went right into it that
okay,
day.
to be fair though, the last two, I think I felt, and I feel like a couple of people also felt and had commented, like, okay, this 108 was like easier. It felt a little easier. I mean, I felt like even when we finished it, everybody was like, okay, I still have some energy, like we can go on.
Yes.
But we've also had some 108s where it was just like, when we finished, it was like we were ready to just lay down and not move anymore. I
Yeah.
mean, we need to get out of the sweaty clothes. Like yesterday, I was completely drenched. Like I finished my water twice, my bottle twice.
Yeah, I think
Um,
several people had to leave the room to refill during a couple of the breaks
yeah,
as well.
for
So,
sure.
yeah,
Our,
it was a much sweatier, more intense yesterday flow.
I mean, our water machine was empty at the end of the day. Once
Yeah.
everybody left, I mean, we refilled it.
Yeah.
We had to refill it, but
And all of the towels that we provide for sweat, all of them were used.
yeah,
So, I mean, from a teaching perspective, that's like a good day.
yeah. Um, what else? What other insights do you have about 108 or yesterday specifically?
Well, let's mention what the special birthday poses that were chosen were,
Hmm.
so that we'll remember, from here on
True.
out. So, Alyssa chose Side Crow for her birthday special.
Which looked amazing when she did it. Yeah,
Yes,
she looked
she
good.
has a really strong practice.
Yes, for sure. Very
Um,
impressed.
And her mom actually said, when I asked for her birthday pose, and she said that it was side crow, she thought I was going to come back in response and say, perhaps you should pick a different pose. Because it's one of those ones that are a work in progress for some of the people in the room. So trying to get into it takes a little bit of setup, right? Then coming in and out of it. And the room was crowded yesterday. It was full, which was great. But then trying to maneuver around that as well, to do side crow. But I thought it was a neat addition to it, to do that for round 4.
Yeah. I chose pistol squat, and I got some comments at the end of class about it.
I let everyone know that was your
I,
round.
I knew you would, but it was something that I'm been trying to work on. So, like Alyssa said to me, and a couple of other people in class at the end was like, "Hey, it's a good opportunity, like 12 opportunities to work on it." So,
Yeah.
putting it at the end in round 9 probably made it a little bit worse, like after all that, then trying to do pistol squat. But I thought it was fun.
Yeah, I had a good time with it, because it was kind of, for me, where I got my second wind, because it was starting to get really tiring towards, I don't know, round 6 and 7 for me. And it happens at different points every time we've done this. So I can't always say that on round 6 or 7 is when I start to feel like I'm not sure if I can keep pushing.
Yeah.
But yesterday, I remember it was around round 6 or 7. And I knew it was coming because I had written all of it. And so I knew that they didn't know what was coming. And I was like, okay, I need to like get myself ready because I knew pistol squat was coming towards the end. I purposely had put it at the end because it was going to be more intense and challenging once you're already tired, but feeling like you could dig deeper to get there. So that very last round was just your traditional Ashtanga-based Sun A, would feel like, woo, piece of cake. We're at the home stretch at that point.
Yeah. And everybody was okay with finishing the last round with our 13th set,
Yes.
right? And that's rollout, right? We have to be a little bit different, so we're probably never going to do it exactly 108. Hence the t-shirts and the tanks, so it's 108-ish.
Yeah. I mean, counting and guiding at the same time, that's a challenge for me. And so over the times that we've done this the past couple of years, I think everyone got wise to it that's been attending these so far, so they help me count.
Yeah.
We even had, Christy had given me as a present last time a counter, like you count for people or whatever.
Yeah.
And she offered to work it yesterday, and even she got lost in it for a second.
Great effort, though.
Count.
A+ for effort, Christy. So
Yeah. I think probably halfway through when we realized that she had stopped counting for a sec.
yeah, okay.
But,
Yeah,
it
I
helped
think,
for a little while.
but that's part of the fun too.
Yes.
I think everybody understands. Everybody that comes understands how hard it is to keep count, not just for you because you're also instructing and guiding throughout the entire thing, but for the rest of us, even just doing it, trying to keep count in our heads. There's so many times where you're like unsure. You're like, is that 7 or 8? And then half the class says 7, the other half says 8. There might be one that says, no, we're on 9.
Yes.
And there's always somebody that's like, no, that was 12. Like everybody, there's always one person that's like, I'm ready to be finished with this round,
Yeah.
So I think everybody understands the challenge, but we also find it very funny, through class. So it kind of helps keep us going.
Well, it makes it, an interactive experience. I think that's kind of evolved over time, like to help me count.
Yeah.
And also, getting lost in it is kind of what's great about it. Because you're doing this kind of repetitive movement. Even though I break it up into 9 rounds, each round is different, right? So you get lost in the 12 sets of this, and then it's kind of like a moving meditation at that point. So it makes sense that you would lose count,
Yeah.
because you're like really focused on what you're doing, that you can kind of get lost in it. That's kind of the beauty of it too, I think.
And I heard that yesterday too, people saying, I just got into this zone and I stopped thinking. I was just moving and it felt really good. And it was like just pushing themselves to complete each round and just keep going and going and going. And they're not even really thinking about it anymore, and you get tired, you're sweating, it's getting in your eyes and,
Oh, yeah.
but you kind of just keep pushing yourself on that mat. So you're really getting into a zone. I hit a wall around end of round 6. And then by the time we finished round 7, it was like the second wind. And then I was able to just keep going. And I think hearing what people were talking about yesterday, everybody hit a wall. Not everybody, but people were hitting a wall at different places. And then all of a sudden it was just like, I can do this, and just kind of kept pushing, It was neat to see.
I think too, when you hit a wall, when you're doing something by yourself at home, like if I were to do this by myself, it's just harder to
Yeah.
push, right? But being in a room together and everyone's just collectively encouraging each other to get through and finish this, what makes it special,
Yeah.
too.
For sure. And especially if it's your first time. We had quite a few first timers yesterday.
What was your count at? Like 9?
I think we had 9. And I hope that they feel accomplished afterwards. I think that's my hope for all the newbies to 108. Sunday classes in general are already pretty good paced and challenging, but to do a 108, I think is a different level. It's just a different level. So I'm always proud to see the newcomers to 108 finish and still smiling at the end of class, you know?
Yeah.
We've had some that are like, whew, like they were like, I'm too tired to smile. But, you know, they walked out, they were like, I feel great. You know, I feel like I was very productive, and, you know, those kind of comments that I hear from them is awesome.
Well, I mean, I think the testament to like feeling that sense of accomplishment and enjoying the experience of it, even though during that time maybe it feels kind of sucky because it's difficult, you know,
Yeah.
it's not comfortable, but feeling accomplished keeps people coming back to do it again the next quarter, since we do it, you know, at the change of every season. And seeing those repeated members come back is what, to me, is like a indication that we should keep going with this. Like, this builds community in a way that we'd always hoped for the
Yeah.
studio, right? And it's a tradition that we have now that, you know, I look forward to it, even though we all kind of dread, like, okay, it's gonna be rough. I do look forward to it. You know, it's a lot of talking for me as a teacher to do it. But like, I prepare, you know, like I
Yeah.
get ready for it. And, you know, sometimes I have low energy when it starts, but everyone together keeps me going too, you know? It's
Yeah.
just all of us as a collective effort, which is nice.
And people don't see it, but I see it. Like, that Sunday morning, we have our routine, right? Like, we do our coffee, you start working each flow, each round, what you're going to do. You're going to start prepping for that. We don't talk a whole lot that morning like we normally do. We don't discuss our daily plans and stuff like that. It's just all about prepping for 108,
Yeah.
right? It's each round. It's like making sure that we have water for everyone, enough water for everyone, enough towels for everyone, that we have a playlist, you know, all those things. The prep for 108 really, it happens early Sunday morning, you know, all the way until class time. Here's a couple of stats that I think were very interesting especially when you were talking about, you know, people coming back. So everybody that has done 5 or more 108s with us were there yesterday, except for Jane. Shout out to Jane for missing out. It's far for her. It's far for her.
She said she was on a plane back from
Oh, that's right.
Chicago.
That's right. Okay.
So we'll give her a pass.
Yeah,
this
we'll give her a
time.
pass this time. But we also had 2 new members to the club. Krista and Tracy hit 5 yesterday in yesterday's class.
Yeah.
I know.
And what's neat about Krista is she's the only teacher on our roster that has done it
Yes.
that many times.
Yes. Yep. And she will be getting her. Did she decide a tank or
think so,
a shirt?
yeah.
Okay. So, for those that don't know, once you hit 5, we give a tank or a shirt that says 108-ish on it.
A shirt that's earned.
Can't be bought,
Can't
can
buy.
only be earned. Yep. So, welcome to the club to Krista and Tracy. Another interesting stat and a shout out is to Veronica. We've done 10 total 108s, and Veronica has done 9. The only one she missed was the very first one, which at that time we didn't know that we were gonna do this on a regular basis. It was something that you kind of just like decided that morning, like, hey,
It was a surprise.
it was a surprise to everyone, and we just did it. So, but Veronica has done every single one since with us. That's really impressive.
I mean, she really looks forward to them,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
You know, from everything she's ever told me, she just doesn't want to miss them. And
Yeah.
then her daughter joined her yesterday, which was really cool to see.
And I think this is her second or third one.
Yeah.
So that really is pretty cool to see. And another thing was that we had 2 more mother-daughter combos that did it with us yesterday, right?
Mhm.
So we had Melissa and Emily, right? Who else do we have? Did we? Okay, so Veronica, Melissa, and Emily. Okay.
It's almost like they could start their own tradition
Yeah.
with each other to do it
Yeah.
together, as a way to bond as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. So that's really cool. We've got a couple of people. We've got 3, I believe, that have done 4. So Amity hit 4 classes, 4 108s last time. So exciting for her. And at least Brittany, the next round is going to be 5. So that club's going to be growing.
Which is nice.
Yeah. So, one more shout out, by the way, to a first timer, Angela. I know you showed me how she went for a run afterwards.
Yeah.
Like a 4-mile run.
Which is,
What a beast
you
of an
know.
athlete. Like, I think most of us were like, okay, we're done with the day. Like,
Yeah, someone said they were going to take a nap.
Yeah.
That was the rest of their day.
Yeah.
But yeah, she had posted that she went for a run after that.
Yeah.
So,
Amazing.
Yeah.
And so impressive. And I'm so happy that she came, and
Yeah.
she really is an athlete. She does a lot of different activities, and
yes.
challenging herself to this one with us was neat to see. So,
Yep. Can't wait for the next one.
yep.
December.
Anything else? Any thoughts on December yet, or no? You're just gonna wait until closer to time.
True to my planning style for teaching, I feel it when I get closer to time.
Yeah.
I start to formulate something a little bit more concrete about what I want to do. But yesterday goes to show that I am open to suggestions. So requests and suggestions from now until December.
Yeah.
Anyone can,
Yeah.
give me some ideas or thoughts.
Christy and Morgan, our
Yeah,
other
that's
mother-daughter combo that we love having here
You're right, you're
together.
right.
So I
Yes.
knew there was 3. And thank
That's
you,
why
Christy.
you're the numbers guy.
Yeah. Thank you, Christy, for trying to keep count on the little clicker.
Yeah.
I still give her an A for effort.
For sure.
And she always helps make the class fun. So having her here is great. So anything else about 108 on our
That's
recap?
it. No?
All right. I guess until next time.
Yep.